close that. It's got a car. Let's see. Robbie. Can you believe it? I think that's Robbie. What's this guy over here doing? Is he photographing birds or something? Second, just take off the scarf. Oh, wow. It is cold out there. I've got a big scarf. I love big scarves. I think the bigger scarf, the better. Like just 10 wraps. I just want to be in a scarf. Welcome back. Thanks for coming. It's the Hotline show. It's the 44th one. Today is January 5th, 2025. New year. New you. There's so much going on in a new year, and I never know where to begin. Like, do you pick up where you left off, or do you start scratch? I've been cleaning, I've been organizing. I've been meaning to take down this for over a year now. But I feel like if I take it down, I don't know what I'm going to put in its place. So then it's just going to be an empty void. We'll get to it, maybe. Feels like we do so much now for so little. Didn't it feel like just even 5-10 years ago, you did enough and it was fine and you felt good and that was it and you just moved. And now it's like you need to double it. It's like inflation of work. For what? Nothing. What's the point? I've got a few things I wrote down this week that I just want to get off my mind. The first thing is, I've been seeing this around for a little while now. It's called people calling themselves lens-based artists. I guess it's another way of calling yourself a photographer. This kind of feels a lot like inkjet prints and calling it a giclée. Or something, just like a fancier way of saying what it is because the thing that it is doesn't sound that good or interesting. But don't do that. It's just silly. Just call yourself a photographer or an artist or whatever, yourself. You're nothing. You're nothing. You just exist. You don't need to say lens-based artist. That said, if you were thinking about calling yourself a content creator, you can call yourself a lens-based artist. That's the only exception. No. This is going to be a long one. If you hear there's a band from Nashville, you know it's going to be bad. You can immediately dismiss them. They're not going to be good. You cannot name one good band from Nashville. Yes, even that one person you're thinking of. Sorry. No, I'm not. I'm actually not sorry. Just keep that in mind. Anytime you hear this act is out of Nashville. Anyway, it's the Hotline show. If you don't know, the phone number, it's in the description below. You call that number, leave a message. It can be about anything, mostly photography, but we talk about other things like hot sauce and tractors. So if you have a conspiracy theory or even a prediction for this year, let me hear it. I'd love to talk about it. We're going to do a shorter show this week. Only a couple calls. We got one video call. I'm excited about this. Let's go. Let's hear it.
Hey Noah, it's Brad from First Class. I'm a big fan. Love all your stuff. I had a question. I love being up in First Class. It's where I am right now and most of the time. But I was wondering, when you fly, have you ever met anybody famous? One time I was seated next to Sway, that MTV DJ, really nice guy. It was an overnight flight, and I had food poisoning, and I was not in first class. I was sitting in the middle, and so I kept having to get up and climb over Sway and go to the restroom, take care of my business and my body and my buttocks, the 3 Bs. But anyway, I was wondering if you've ever met anybody famous on a plane or had any experiences with celebrities on planes. Happy New Year.
Wow, Brad from First Class. Good to hear from you. New caller. You look vaguely familiar. The 3 Bs, I love it. Your business, your body, and your buttocks. It's true. On an airplane, those are important things to take care of. And in fact, the last time I was on a plane, I always get the window seat. I'm a window seat person. I just like to look. It's amazing. You get the view and the vantage point. I just will stare out the window for hours on end. I have so many photos of just land and clouds that no one will ever enjoy. This one time I was on a plane and I was having stomach issues, and being all the way in the window, you have to ask the people to get out. And I did it once, and I had to go and do the stuff in the bathroom, and you think you get it all out, and then you're done, and it's stressful in that lavatory. You get back to the seat, and I'm sitting there, and then I had to go again, not 5 minutes later, and it was an overnight flight, I think, and they were sort of sleeping, and I needed to get out. It was like an emergency, and I tried to grab both seats and pole vault over them without touching them. And of course it didn't work. And I ended up kicking the guy in the aisle seat, and he yelled at me like, "Hey, man," and the whole plane got disturbed, and I felt embarrassed, and I was on the verge of shitting my pants. And it was just an awful experience. I really do not like flying. I like flying first class when I can. Now, in regards to celebrities, I've never met one. I've seen them. In fact, the most recent one, I was on a plane, JetBlue, New York to LA, and I saw Seth Rogen sitting just a couple rows up over there, and I was just sort of like, that's him, and I think even a movie of his came on and I watched it, but it felt weird. It felt like I was doing it on purpose, but it was a good movie. And then that was it. Of course, I never spoke to him. Everyone sort of, at least on this flight, just pretended like he didn't exist. And it's kind of weird because everyone knew it was him, but no one said anything. Everyone's cool. It's cool when people are cool, right? You don't have to disturb anyone. Let's just all live our lives and pretend that he's just like us. And he probably is. Brad from First Class. So great to hear from you. Hope you call back. Let's do it. Next call. Susannah.
Hi, Noah. It's Susannah again. I had a question. I was interested in hearing you talk about your internet sex project that you did, I believe, from 2008 to 2009, how you came up with the idea, how you executed the long exposure images, and what you think of the series looking back on it now, some years later. Thanks. Bye.
Susannah, thanks for that call. Internet sex, yeah. How do I feel about it now? I actually like it. I look back on it and I feel like some of those pictures actually kind of look like art. And I'm glad it had a little bit of a life to it. I only made, I think total, the whole series is 15 photos. And the sex ones, I think that's half that. How I did it, it's put on the TV. It's dark room. You put on the TV, camera on a tripod, and just bulb open. I think f-stop, close the lens, f22, whatever the smallest f-stop you have is, and just run. And, it's not like an hour, maybe it's 5 minutes or something, if that. It's all me. in there. I don't remember. It was a long time ago. But, you're not doing all-nighters in that project. And also, you can only do it for so long. Otherwise, if you kept doing it longer, I think the figures would completely go away. So, yeah, it was just 8-minute exposures, F22, just shutter open. But yeah, I never even wrote an artist statement for it. So there wasn't like some grand meaning behind it. Just felt like an intuitive kind of project and let other people sort of interpret it how they see it. And in fact, there was this one video, this Instagram account, Contemporary 100, I think, made about the project. I'm going to play it here and we'll watch it and we'll see. Let's go.
This photo series is called Internet Sex. The series by Noah Kalina consists of long exposure photographs of couples being intimate and shows everything and nothing all at once. You get the idea without the images being graphic. Shock doesn't feel like the point here. But then every other photograph shows just a laptop, illuminating similar scenes, no long exposure, or at least no human presence to indicate one. Could this symbolize that although a human is actually there, there's no partner to create dramatic sweeping movements with, and the need for a long exposure becomes redundant, which feels like a visual metaphor for the way sex and pornography is usually consumed through the internet. It's not usually a shared experience. It's solitary, lonely, almost ghostly. Actual physical intimacy completely disappears, and you with it.
I like that a lot. I mean, I think that makes sense. And the other day I was going through photo books and I realized I'm in this book with that project. So I'm going to show that to you right now. Let me see here.
When two become none, the act of intercourse, as recorded in a single long exposure photograph. Internet Sex by Noah Kalina. This series documents sexual intercourse, which appears both as an act of union between two individuals and as the dissolution of the self. Each image records the complete act in a single frame. In the images, not only do the two individuals merge into a single, indistinct form, but that new form is itself often no longer recognizable for what it is. The background shows through, perhaps physically, as well as mentally. The couple is in another place. Rather than documenting the physical reality of the act, like the positions or motion, Noah Kalina uses long exposures to document an unseen emotional reality.
Amazing. Well, brought tears to my eyes, thinking back when I was cool. Next caller.
Hey, buddy, this is Robbie from Massachusetts. I had a couple of questions for you, and I've always struggled as a photographer to decipher, long-form projects and short-form projects, and you obviously have a very firm grasp on this. I often just wonder how you're able to decipher this, and I'm sorry, I'm driving right now. A man just did a cartwheel on the sidewalk. I don't remember the last time I've done a cartwheel, but I don't know, maybe you can show me. Anyways, if you could just answer my questions about figuring out your long-term goals and your short-term goals, and how projects come to be. I have so many that I have just kind of sitting on the back burner, and then ones that I put a couple of months into, and sometimes I just get sick of them. I don't know what to do. All right, I'll check you later.
Robbie from Massachusetts, thank you for that. Yeah, this is not an uncommon question and concern and problem for photographers and artists working on projects, big and small. What are the goals? I'm not really a goal maker, but sometimes I have an idea, and then it's like, okay, we're going to work on that idea. And I think right away, is this like something that's going to go on for the rest of your life, or is it just like for the next year we're going to do this, Or maybe we'll do it for a couple months and see how it goes. Or maybe you're just taking photos and the idea emerges later. I mean, I've had all of these things happen with Every Day, my self-portrait project. I started that with the intention to never stop. And in fact, next week is 25 years. We're going to do a whole video about some of the press and books and stuff. So that's next week. But anyway, that's long-term stuff, and that is what it is. And other things I did between that and years later, I don't know, I would just take photos, and it was nothing, at least at first. And then something emerged out of it. So there were projects like that where it was like, I'm just shooting. I don't really know what I'm getting just yet. And then you figure it out. Then there are the ones that are just like idea, let's do it, execute it, done. There's no right or wrong way to do any of this. It sort of all lives with it. You live with it in time. Everything comes in time. We need to be patient. I think these days we're sort of wanting everything to just happen right away. And the reality is so many things take so long. And I'm not even talking about a year. I'm talking about 5 years. I'm talking about a decade, maybe even longer than that. And actually at a decade is when things really start to emerge. And it's a good time to go back. Look back 10 years on your archive and see where you were and see what that work looks like. Some still might work. Some might be shit. Stick with it. I think it's common to just get sick of it. I've had projects that I definitely was working on and I got sick of them and I abandoned them. And then I have some that I abandoned and then eventually look back on and I'm like, I'm going to revitalize this and make it into something. And I think currently I'm sitting on like 5 or 6 projects that are basically done but never really done, right? Like I never really like released them in a final form. And that form is like a book or a show even. And I really should, and I want to. And that maybe is a goal that I have for myself. I want to put out a lot more books this year, self-published stuff. I'm not even going to try to get like publishers or anything. Just like invest in the project to make it a piece. Be like, that was it. It's the gravestone to the work. Let it die. And maybe a couple people will enjoy it. Good luck, Robbie. You'll be all right. Last caller.
Hi, Noah. So, Noah, I'd like to wish you and all your listeners a Happy New Year and to send out one piece of really important advice, which is everyone, no matter what, try to stay present. Take care. Happy New Year again. Bye-bye.
Dad, thank you for calling. Thanks for that advice. I think we all needed that. We all need to be present here in this new year. So, Happy New Year, Dad. Happy New Year to everyone watching this. Let's be present this year. When things get a little crazy, just you take it back. You know, it's like, all right, all that bullshit is happening. How about what's this? Oh, here, what? Oh, I'm recording. And I have my notebook. And is the sound? No. I'm holding a pencil. That's the Hotline Show. If you made it this far, thank you so much. Do this stuff. Like, subscribe. Call the hotline. We need some calls. I'd appreciate it. I'd love to hear it. Whatever's on your mind, just give it to me. The sun is coming out. It's too bright. We gotta go. We'll see you next week. Same time, same place. Maybe.